Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Kelly Ann Smith, personal finance expert and reporter at Forbes Advisors, a trusted destination for unbiased personal finance advice, news, and reviews to discuss how the American Rescue Plan, that's the $1.9 trillion stimulus package, is progressing and what it means for those expected to receive funds. Kelly Ann, it's great to see you again. Welcome back to Trade Talks.
Thank you for having me.
Where are we now with the stimulus bill? What parts of the package are being held up?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that parts of the package are being held up. Right now, they're actively drafting this legislation and they're aiming to pass it with budget reconciliation. So that in itself is a process. They're working out the logistics of exactly what can go into the package and pass under that process. There are rules, basically like the Byrd rule about what can and cannot be passed in a piece of legislation that goes through this process. So they're actively working on it. Obviously, the impeachment trial does take some time away from that, but they are aiming for a mid-March deadline to get this written, voted on, and put onto President Biden's desk to be signed into law.
Got it. Thank you for clarifying that. Who is eligible to participate?
Well, in terms of stimulus checks, I think that's what everyone is the most concerned about right now. This go around, they will be more targeted. So they will have similar income thresholds, the same income thresholds as last time. But that phase out period, it's going to be smaller. So it'll be a lesser amount of where it completely cuts off and people aren't eligible at all. And this go around, children dependents will still be eligible, of course, but also adult dependents will be eligible. So that will include, college students who are still being claimed on their parents' taxes, disabled adults. But like I previously mentioned, the amount that they will receive will be dependent upon the person who claimed them on their taxes and the income that, is being reported and their stimulus check is being based off of.
A new report from the Congressional Budget Office, the CBO, projects the U.S. economy will recover to pre-pandemic levels by the middle of this year, even if Congress doesn't pass additional aid. But that's likely going to be years until those who lost their employment due to COVID-19 are able to get back to work. I mean, is that even a possibility? I mean, I understand the economy is one thing, and you want to see improvement there, but people can't be expected to wait that long.
Right. I would be very surprised if another stimulus package wasn't passed. Experts have been huge on this. President Biden has been huge, saying the American people, the economy needs help. And he has some very prominent people echoing that sentiment, including Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. She's huge on voicing her support for this. Even the Federal Reserve has said, the economy, it needs more aid, more stimulus. So I really don't foresee a package not passing. It's just a matter of what exactly will be in it and when it is finally passed into law.
Do you think a one-time payment of $2,000 will bolster the economy at the end of the day? I would imagine, folks are also going to use that to try and pay off some of the debt that's been accumulated or save it for, a situation if it takes them longer to get back to work.
Yeah, well, a lot of experts, analysts, economists, what they're saying is that these one-time payments, yes, they're good in the short term, but what the economy as a whole needs are long-term interventions. And what that looks like is more funding for state and local governments. That looks like rental assistance and expanded unemployment insurance. And those three provisions are actually intended to be within the next stimulus package. So I know a lot of people focus on the stimulus checks, but in terms of the economy as a whole, what the experts are really saying, we need these long-term type of interventions to really bolster the economy and get it back up.
And that's my final question to you. What other stimulus proposals do Americans think would be best for their personal finances?
Yeah, so at Forbes Advisor, we recently ran a survey with YouGov and we asked this question. And a lot of people are big on the one-time stimulus check. When we asked about $2,000. That was something they really preferred. But they're also really interested in things like canceling rent or mortgage payments for a year or canceling student loan debt, which obviously has been talked about widely within Congress. We're still not sure exactly where that might go, but those are some of the things top of mind that people are saying will help them right now.
All right, Kellyanne, appreciate the insight as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.